Hi guys, this is Tell Your Mom Thanks for me at Hit Squad, and I'm just making a short video today about the legendary Hog Cycle deck that I've been using both in tournaments and ladder play for the last month and a half, ever since I got into Legendary Arena, and was able to unlock some more of the cards that are needed for this deck. Um, like I said, a Hog Cycle deck, but it's supported by the Ice Wizard, Princess, Log, Lumberjack, as well as the Ice Spirit, Skeleton Army, and the Lightning Spell. Um, I got to the Legendary Arena about a month and a half ago for the first time, and since then, using this deck, I've pushed to 3,690 trophies as my personal best. Um, just the other day, I joined a random 50-person tournament that I found and was able to go 12-0 and get first place in there. It's not a big achievement. It's only a 50-person tournament. It was a good mixture of Arena 8 and 9 players. These are the battles right here from that. I haven't actually played since then. I've been busy. But like I said, I went 12-0, and I was able to counter pretty much everything I saw. I didn't actually come across any battles in this tournament with the current popular golem or lava hound decks. But I have used this deck, obviously, in the last month or so. I've used it against those types of decks quite often, and it is very effective. Your ability to mount a quick push on the opposite lane as the golem is placed. So the golem placed on the left lane, you can spend 6 or 8 elixir and get a good push going in the opposite lane to break their momentum and not let them build up a push of their own. I just want to show a few clips quickly just to highlight some of the better parts or important parts of this deck. This first one is actually the last battle that I played in that tournament. He's using a giant 4 musketeer deck, and it was the closest that I came to losing, actually, was in this battle. It was the last one. It was just some sloppy playing on my part and probably some nerves as well, but I was able to come out with a win at the end. And actually this video highlights the amazing stopping power of this deck. I kind of want to fast forward through parts of this, but first of all, I just want to touch on how I generally start using the deck. At the beginning, I'll generally put a princess behind the king tower, or lumberjack or hogrider right at the bridge, just to start some quick pressure, and also to see what they're going to be using to counter that card for the rest of the match and get an idea what I'm up against. As you can see there, I use my lightning spell quickly. I usually don't do that. I try to keep it towards the end or to see what the best use of that lightning spell is going to be, but I was trying to keep them from getting an early elixir advantage, which came back to bite me in the butt here because I didn't have the lightning spell to use against the 3 musketeers. They were able to get a lot of damage done to my right tower early on, and it kind of went downhill from there until overtime, whenever I was able to pull it back. That lumberjack that just came in there, I want to talk about how great he is as both defense and offense, or both in the same, because he oftentimes is used to hack down a big opponent tank and then start your counter push, and first one to be killed and leave that rage spell behind, which is great whenever you have troops such as the hogrider that are going to target the enemy's tower when enraged with that spell. So it's really nice. I didn't use the lightning spell again. I didn't repeat my mistake of using the lightning spell on that elixir collector there. Decided to let him go with one of them and hopefully get the elixir advantage back in my favor by catching those 3 musketeers with a lightning spell. I believe I attempted to do that coming up right here, but I missed one of them. Anyhow, the whole general idea of how this deck works, once you get your push going with ideally a lumberjack in front with a hogrider behind it to catch that rage spell, paired with either a skeleton army or an ice spirit or something like that, that's going to be your offensive push. And then on the back end, whenever you have to defend against their counter push, a lot of times it's going to be a minion horde, a skeleton army, or something like that to take down those 2 troops quickly. You have the ice wizard and the princess that you can pair behind the tower, one behind the tower, one in front of the tower. And also, if you held onto that ice spirit, you can use that as well. And those cards together will quickly take out all of those units that are coming in quickly on you. The biggest threat to this deck would be the miner, just because if he does send the miner in onto that princess that you're using to take down those incoming units, that can be big trouble, especially if your tower and your princess are focusing on the miner, or your tower is focusing on the miner and your princess is now gone. But luckily, you do have that backup of the Ice Wizard and the Ice Spirit, which can often handle the incoming units while your tower takes care of that miner. As you saw there, he dropped his giant in the center of my arena, and I was still able to keep that giant from making any progress, even though he zapped away my skeleton army. And again, here, using my skeleton army, I'm able to keep that 3 musketeer drop from doing any damage to my tower as well. So the stopping power, like I said, of this deck is just fantastic. And then here you can see I'm able to pressure him very well with the lumberjack, the skeleton army, and then the hogrider coming in there. He's pretty much helpless against that. He was able to stop the hogrider with the zap and the musketeer, but in the end I had so much elixir build up still that the lightning spell was able to end it before he could get his log down to my tower. One more replay that I want to show against who is a pro headshot here. He is using a deck that had a few more legendary cards in it, and it was a miner deck. Like I was saying, those could be troublesome. Losing service, not good. But just want to show maybe how I counter against the miner, which is to use the skeleton army as often as possible. As soon as I see the miner coming into my princess, if I could drop the skeleton army around it, oftentimes the princess won't even get touched, and the opponent will be forced to use more elixir if he does want to kill that princess, or just let it go, and I in turn get more defensive help or damage to their tower. He's also using his own princess here, which can be great counter to your princess. Luckily this deck has the log, which that's one of those cards that can be replaced, but it's not going to have the same effect on the princess probably. As you can see here, I saw the miner coming in, so I like to drop the skeleton army just to take care of the miner, to take care of the other ground units, and also to distract the minions above. The lumberjack here is still up and kicking and able to go in and start my counter push. I didn't send the hogrider in behind there just because I was short on elixir. Decided to instead try to take some chip damage away on that opposite tower and keep him from creating his own counter push on that left tower. The hogrider paired with the lumberjack is the primary damage dealer of this deck, like I said. And really, there is no bad situation for that combination, in my opinion, because either the lumberjack and the hogrider are going to get some damage to the tower, or the lumberjack is going to distract the troops that are coming in, get killed first, and leave your rage spell so that your hogrider is able to at least get a few good swings in with that rage spell. Here you can see what I'm talking about with that princess and ice wizard. As far as defending those incoming units, they really do a great job. The Ice Wizard's slowing everything down so much, and the Princess just with great area damage. Go ahead and fast forward through this a little bit more. This guy is being forced to use his Fireball against my Princess, which is giving me a 1 elixir advantage every single time he does it. There again you can see the skeleton army that I used to counter the miner, and it's just really effective. That lightning spell is a great way to finish the match, just send in the hogrider. And it's also a great way if they have Inferno Tower, Tombstone, something like that, that you see them dropping every time you send your hogrider in. If you save up the elixir and later on, towards the end of the match, you can really throw them a curveball if you can get a full 10 elixir saved up and send in a hogrider. They drop that defensive building, and you can hit that building, the tower, as well as one other troop with your lightning spell, and get the hogrider sent directly to their tower, which they will not be prepared for, and you may get lucky enough to even take their entire tower down with that. So the last clip I want to show is against a Royal Giant deck. I'm going to fast forward through it just so this video is not too long, but even at 2x speed here you can see how good this deck is at stopping even the big the Goliath Royal Giant that gets in and does damage no matter what. This was another close match. We each got a tower down, and he was also using the hogrider, so I had two things to worry about as far as direct damage to my towers as far as troops go. The nice thing about that rage spell and the hogrider coming in is even if they do drop minion horde or anything like that, your hogrider is generally going to at least get one swing on that tower, so you're going to get at least some damage chipped away at the tower if you can get both of those troops in. There's a lot of combinations that can be used here. The hogrider with the ice spirit or the skeleton army, as well as the lumberjack with the ice spirit or the skeleton army. And if you can get the princess at the bridge while those units are at the tower, you're pretty much covered as far as any units that might be used to defend against that hogrider or lumberjack. You see the royal giant coming in here. I'm able to use the ice spirit, the ice wizard, to really slow down that royal giant, to also damage the minions, and then the princess is able to finish a lot of that off with the skeleton army. He does still take my tower down, although his tower is within 100 HP, so I know I'm going to get that down, and that falls right there. Again, with the stopping power of this deck, you're going to see the royal giant dropped here in the center and the hogrider dropped in the center. I'm still able to keep him from taking down the entire tower, while at the same time creating pressure of my own with the lumberjack and hogrider and skeleton army and whatnot being placed in the center of his arena and at the bridge. And then the lightning spell to finish it there. So, like I said, overall, it's just a really strong deck. Really a lot of defensive possibilities as well as offensive possibilities, and the flow of this deck just going from offense to defense to counter push and everything in between. It's really well rounded. It's worked really well for me, and like I said, in just the month and a half that I've been in Legendary Arena, I really haven't even been struggling to stay in the arena because I've just been able to push up almost 700 trophies since I got there, and I'm really happy with that deck. I hope that this video is informative and someone's able to watch it, and if they're lucky enough to have all the cards that are needed, or if maybe they can switch a few of them out, that you can try the deck out and it's successful for you as well. Again, tell your mom thanks for me from Hit Squad, and thanks for watching.